The Vorstengraf in Os is one of the largest burial mounds in the Netherlands and Belgium. The hill was 3 meters high and had a diameter of 54 meters. First, second and third Vorstengraf. In 1933, the so-called Vorstengraf was uncovered during the construction of a trailer park on the heath. It contained a bronze bucket containing a curved iron sword from 700 BC. The find was transferred to the Rijksmuseum van Oudheden in Leiden. The site of the hill was later a junkyard. The mound is now partly restored. A portion of the circumference of the hill is marked with poles. In 2009, a second Vorstengraf was discovered a few hundred meters from the first Vorstengraf. The finds from this tomb are displayed in the Encyacht Museum in Os. In 2011, it was announced that a third Vorstengraf was discovered in Uden. Pile graves. The Vorstengraf is located at the interchange Pilegraven. This node is named after the pile graves that have been found in the immediate vicinity. These tombs were built in the period of the Early Bronze Age to the Early Iron Age, between 2000 BC to 700 BC. To the east of Os, a new highway was built to connect the A50 and A59 from Emmeloord to S'Hartogenbosch. In the vicinity of the tomb, 2 Forest Hills tree wreaths were excavated. According to archaeologists, the poles probably had a ritual function. One of the hills is surrounded by a ditch. To the east and south of the Vorstengraf, an urnfield was found dating back to the Late Bronze Age and Early Iron Age. Cremated remains are interred in an urn or cloth. Soon after the establishment of the Vorstengraf, the burial ground was closed. 7 mounds. The area des Evenbergen, 7 mounds, was examined in 1964 and 1965 and 7 burial mounds were found. When the junction was built had followed up this investigation. Leuven trial revealed that in the area a line of poles of at least 100-meter length has been found. In 2004 came the actual excavation of the burial ground. In the 13th century a gallows was built on one of these hills. This was at a crossroads of continuous ruts on the heath, and the remains of 2 victims were found nearby. East of the burial ground of a country remains were found. Myths. There are folk tales associated with the mound. Jan Cunend has ever recorded that a prince should be buried in the heath. The hill is also called Hans Jopen Mountain. There are several stories about the dwarf Hans Jopen. Gallery. Replica of the bronze bucket containing a curved iron sword. Replica of the bronze bucket containing a curved iron sword.